Greetings EGR 180 students, this is Unit 8, Basic and Intermediate Part Creation for the CSWA. By the time you've completed this module, you will be able to read and understand an engineering document used in the CSWA exam, identify the sketch plane, part origin, location, part dimensions, and design intent of the sketch and feature. Build a part from a detailed dimension illustration using the following SOLIDWORKS tools and features: 2 and 3D sketch tools, extruded boss base and cut, fillet, mirror, revolve base, chamfer, reference geometry, plane, axis, calculate the overall mass and volume of the created part, and locate the center of mass for the created part relative to the origin. There are 2 questions, each worth 15 points on the CSWA exam in the basic part creation and modification category. One is a multiple choice question. You build a model with 6 or more features. Then you modify that part and answer a fill in the blank. There are 2 questions, each worth 15 points on the CSWA exam in the intermediate part creation and modification category. One is a multiple choice. You build a model with 6 or more features, and you modify the part and answer a fill in the blank. There are 60 points possible here. That's 1/4 of the total points of the exam. Okay, so I'd like to start with a review of our basic modeling strategy. You know that the first feature is in a part document is the base feature. The base feature is the basis on which you create the other features. Keep the base sketch simple for the base feature. What you want to do is keep it simple. Many 3D objects can be visualized, sketched, and modeled in a CAD system by combining 3D shapes or primitives. Solid primitives are the building blocks for many solid objects. And remember, the planar face you select for the base sketch determines the orientation of the part. The most common solid primitives for building base features are the box, the sphere, the cylinder, the cone, the torus, the wedge, and the pyramid. Example of keeping the base sketch simple. Start with a block, cut away pieces. Another example of keeping a sketch simple. You could try and draw all that, but it's going to be a lot easier to start with a rectangle. Here's another example of keeping the base sketch simple. Start with a blank and move on from there. And one more example. We've seen this before. This is a nice angle. Pretty simple, easy to work with. One final example of keeping the sketch simple. This looks complex, but when you start off with a cylinder, it's not too bad. Rule number 2 is to add geometric relations, then dimensions in a sketch. This keeps the user from having too many unnecessary dimensions, and it also helps to show the design intent of the model. Dimension what geometry you intend to modify or adjust. Rule number 3, model about the origin. This provides a point of reference. Select the sketch plane for the base feature that corresponds to the part orientation of the assembly. Rename a feature or sketch to improve clarity. Rule number 4, use symmetry. When possible and if it makes sense, model objects symmetrically about the origin. Even if the part is not symmetrical, the way it attaches or is manufactured could have symmetry. Insert center lines to build sketches that are referenced by multiple features. Reference geometry defines the shape of or form of a surface or solid. Reference geometry includes planes, axes, coordinate systems, and points. Here's a sample intermediate part from the CSWA. It's going to look like this. Build this part in SOLIDWORKS. I'm going to give you the units, the decimals, part origin, and notice it's going to have some measurements, A, B, and C. All holes are through all, and it tells you the part material is copper. Looks like fun, huh? Not to worry, I'm going to model this part for you in the Unit 8 SOLIDWORKS demo. Another possible drawing for the part with dimensions. This is a complex part, so before starting we have to figure out how to proceed. What is the initial block and which section to carve out cut first? This is the approach I have found that works best. The single biggest piece of advice I can give you regarding the CSWA exam is to stop and think before you begin modeling. Think about how you will model the part. Even if it's 30 seconds, it'll be time well spent. The basic primitive for the part is a rectangle. Yes, draw it, extrude it, and then go back and do three extruded cuts, or do them all in one sketch if you prefer. Pay particular attention to the geometrical relations shown. Using these is often the only way to draw a part from what's been given in the drawing. Now, on the rightmost face of the part sketch, a circle of 50 millimeters in diameter is drawn. The center of the circle must be coincident to the vertical edge and 35 millimeters away from the bottom. Now go to Features tab and select Extruded Cut, Features, and remove the material of 13 millimeter depth from the part and click OK. Now click on the inner surface of the extruded cut and draw the following sketch. Draw a circle of 20 millimeters in diameter with the center at the intersection of the circular arc and the straight line. Now click on Convert Entities button and select the arc and straight line from the previous sketch and click OK. Convert Entities feature projects the selected lines curves in a current sketch. This is a wicked useful feature as it lets you borrow parts of a drawing you've already drawn and reuse it. Think of it as copying. To trim away the parts of the copied lines that you don't need, click the Trim button from the sketch menu and select the trim type as Trim to Closest. Now click on the left side of the circle drawn and the external lines resulting in a closed profile as shown. Exit the sketch by clicking Exit Sketch button. Now extrude the created profile to 5 millimeters. Now draw a circle of 10 millimeters in the diameter and extrude to a length of 8 millimeters. There are a few more features to add to this part, but I'll show these in the Unit 8 SolidWorks demo. Mostly they are extruded cuts. Try modeling this part yourself and see if you can come up with the correct center of mass as shown on the next slide. Here's the completely modeled part. Alright, in this unit I covered how to read and understand an engineering document used in the CSWA exam. Identify the sketch plane, part origin, location, part dimensions, and design intent of the sketch and feature. And how to build a part from a detailed dimensioned illustration using the following SolidWorks tools and features. 2 and 3D sketch tools, extruded boss base and cut, fillet, mirror, revolve base, chamfer, reference geometry, plane, axis, calculate the overall mass and volume of the created part, and locate the center of mass for the created part relative to the origin. There is a SolidWorks demo for this unit where I'll model the intermediate part for you. Please email me any questions or concerns, and as always, thanks for watching.